Here we have a word problem on inequalities. Okay, let's go to the information. After a number of months, a bank balance was negative $46.83. Each month, the bank charges a $5.95 fee for having a negative balance. Write and solve an inequality to determine at most how many months the fee was charged. What was the balance before the fees were charged? Okay, so here I assume myself the account holder, and my bank balance became negative in a particular month, so that bank balance is negative $y dollars. So here y is a positive value that is greater than 0. Only if y is positive, this entire stuff, the negative y will be a negative value. This is my bank balance, that is negative value. Okay, let me assume that this is month 1, where when my account balance became negative, that is month 1. Since my account balance, my bank balance became negative, so the bank charges a fee of $5.95 even in the first month itself. Since it's a fee charged by the bank, actually it is taken from our account, so it has to be done in negative value. So negative $5.95. So in a particular month, my bank balance was negative, there is negative $y dollars. So for that particular month, I mean for the first month, so for this negative balance, negative $y dollars, the bank charges a fee of negative $5.95. So this is the balance of my account at in the first month. Okay, for the second month also, the bank will charge the same fee, $5.95 for this negative balance. So for the second month, for negative $5.95. So for the third month also, I mean actually this expression over here is the balance at the end of the second month. So initial balance, so fee for the first month and fee for the second month. So when we add them all, we get the balance at the end of the second month. For the third month also, the bank will charge the same fee, that is $5.95. Let me subtract 5.95. So this is my balance of my account at the end of the third month. In this way, the bank charges fee for, let's say, that X number of months, because we have to find at most how many months of fee is charged. I assume that is number of months is X. So the bank charges a fee for X number of months. Then after X number of months, what will be the balance of my account? Actually, that is given in the question itself, that is negative $46.83. But according to the stuff we have here, what is my bank balance after X number of months? So the initially my bank balance was negative $y dollars, and for each month the bank charges a fee of $5.95 for how many months? For X number of months. For 1 month, the fee is negative $5.95. For X number of months, we have to multiply the fee for 1 month and the number of months, that is X. So the initial value, that is initially I have negative $y dollars balance, and apart from that, we'll have the fee for X number of months, that is negative 5.95 X. So this is fee for 1 month multiplied by the number of months. So this is my bank balance after X number of months, but this value is already given in the question, that is negative $46.83. Okay, now let me consider the total fee charged by the bank for X number of months. That's clearly 5.95 times X. That's what we have discussed so far. So this is a fee for 1 month, and X represents the number of months. So when we multiply them, we get the total fee charged by the bank. So this is the total fee charged by the bank. And after X months, the balance of my account is negative Y, negative 5.95 X. Okay, now we have to compare the total fee charged by the bank and the balance of my account after X months. So which one is greater and which one is smaller? So actually here we have to consider an important stuff about negative values. So whenever we have a bigger number with negative sign, actually it is smaller in value. And when we have a smaller number with negative sign, it is actually bigger in value. So here we have negative 5.95x. So the same value we have over here, negative 5.95x. And apart from this negative value, we have one more negative value over here. So clearly, this is a bigger number with negative sign. So this is actually smaller in value. So compared to this is a smaller number with negative sign. So this is actually greater in value. So this value is greater than, I mean, the total fee charged by the bank is greater than the bank balance after X months. Okay, now, so already we know that the bank balance after X months, I mean, after some number of months, that is given in the question, so negative 46.83. So we can replace this expression, the expression which represents the bank balance after X months, by the given bank balance. So let me write it, 5.95x greater than negative 46.83. So now we have inequality in just one variable, and now we can solve for x in this inequality. So and also our aim is to find the value of x which represents a number of months, because according to the question we have tried the inequality. I have written the inequality over here to determine at most how many months, or at most how many months we have to find the maximum value of x. Okay, now let's solve for x in this one. For that, we have to get this negative 5.95, which is multiplied by x. So for that, I have to divide both sides by negative 5.95. Let me do it. So negative 5.95x over here. Here we have negative 46.83. Now I divide both sides by negative 5.95. Let me divide it. So negative 5.95. So here I divided both sides by negative 5.95. So whenever I divide both sides of an inequality by the same negative number, I have to flip the inequality sign. So here already we have greater than. Since I divided both sides by the same negative value, negative 5.95, let me flip this inequality sign, then it will become less than. So here this negative will cancel out, 5.95 will cancel out, and here this negative will cancel out. And now what I have to do is I have to divide 46.83 by 5.95. Let me divide it. In that case, I'm getting 1 second, let me write the stuff over here. X less than, I'm getting 7.8705, and it keeps going. Actually, x represents the number of months. A question targets a number of months, and number of complete months. So x has to be an integer. So now we just have to consider the first integer, which is less than this value. So like if you mark this value on number line 7.8705, so the first integer which is less than this 7.87 is just clearly it's 7. So x can take the value 7, because 7 is the value which is less than this 7.8705. So x can be any integer less than or equal to 7. So here clearly the maximum value of x is 7. So at most how many months a fee was charged? That's the question. So the fee was charged for at most 7 months. Now we have answered the first part of the question. Now we have to find the balance before the fee were charged. So here the fee were charged. So before, if I erase everything, so what do I have left over here? I'm just left with a negative y. So this was the bank balance before the fees were charged. So now we have to find the value of this negative y. So for that we have to we'll consider the stuff over here. So that is actually according to this stuff we got the bank balance negative. Let me write over here negative y, negative 5.95x. And so this is the bank balance, but it is equal to the, it can be equated to the balance what we have in the question, that is negative 46.83. Okay, now we got the maximum value of 7, the maximum number of months the fee was charged, that is 7. We can plug in 7 for this x over here, that maximum value of x, and negative y, negative 5.95 times 7 equals to negative 46.83. Okay, negative y. So now we can multiply this 5.95 by 7. When I multiply, I'm getting 41.65 equals to negative 46.83. Okay, now let me add 41.65 to both sides. Let me add it. Okay, when I do so, so this negative value, positive value will cancel. I'm getting negative y equals to, so when I combine this negative 46.83, and let me simplify this, 46.83 and 41.65, I'm getting a negative 5.18. So negative y equals to negative 5.18. Okay, now I got the initial, when my bank balance became negative, I got the value that is negative 5.18. This value of y is negative 5.18. So the bank balance before the fees were charged was negative $5.18.